them. And that's what's going to get you going where you want to go in the way you want to get there. Another mistake in understanding that is really, really important, and I think is part of why people are having a lot of misunderstandings and then these unfortunate conditions, that we're taught not to get angry. And really from a young age, we're taught that anger is an expression of a lack of control, that anger is a lack of patience, or an expression of patience. And when you think about, and we learn more and more, and we have more ability to understand vibrations and the way that these things work, the energy of wanting something different or wanting something to be changed, that is an energy, and it can be perceived as anger. If you think about it, when you're a young child and you want something to be different and you get energetic about it, sometimes it's possible that we as adults would tell the kids not to be so angry. You're not allowed to express anger. And when you're disciplined for these energetic outbursts, then you actually don't know how to bring yourself up into a more healthy vibration. So we talked, I can't remember, maybe a couple of months ago, and we can bring that part up again, but we talked about, these levels of these energetic states, these levels of vibration, and how anger is actually the first one of action. So below anger is fear, shame, guilt, lack of self-worth. Okay, these things are all a lower vibration, an uncomfortable vibration that much of the world lives in today. In order to get yourself out of there, you need to have energy, and we need to pass through that area of anger to get there. Now, we don't need to live there very long, but having that spark of wanting something to change and being angry because it is this way is that spark that's going to induce you to find the higher vibrations. And what happens is that people are down here in apathy, in guilt and shame, and then they bump into fear. Well, I don't really want to live this way, so I'm going to do something different. And then they get fearful, and then they fall back down again. And then finally they bump themselves through that fear and say, okay, come on, I'm really going to do this. But then they bump into anger. And it's really, it's studied. So, this is not, this is in every day. This is in our everyday, how we operate through the world. And then it's also can be in cases that are more, people that are living in a much less comfortable way than we are. But this idea of, I am a bad person because I wanted this to change and I had energy that I wanted it to change. We don't need to feel that way. We just need to start to understand it better. And we don't need to live in a place of not understanding, because understanding is my thing. So we want to push through that energy of anger and get to the next levels. Courage, willingness, love, those are all vibrations that are up there higher than fear and anger. So one person explained it to me like an elevator. And you have this elevator going up. You can visualize it. We all know. And then the door opens at the level, at the floor of anger. And you look out, and we all know what anger looks like. And we can decide, do we need to step out onto that floor, or can we close the elevator and continue up to the next level? And we've all, Isabel was so wonderful to, say also for herself, we have all spent time in that, energetic state of not liking how things are and not knowing how to change them. Absolutely. There's, she really says it. If we all know it, and that's why we want to make it a no judgment zone. But how can we, instead of looking at what we don't want to do, how can we teach people to do things differently? And I think your energetic state has a lot to do with that, and understanding it and knowing that you don't have to drop back from anger and then feel guilty, but instead find that energy, utilize that energy, and then push through to the courage to take yourself out and make mistakes in public. The the feeling to open your heart, to be loving to your horse, and not need to have outside influences tell you if your relationship is good enough or not.